How we doing, mate? You okay? I can't hear you there. I can't hear you now. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Bradley?
Yes, we're on, mate. We're on. Sorry about that.
Is it all right with you if I do the introduction again and I'll just edit the first bit out? Would that be all right?
Yeah, of course, pal, of course.
Thank you, mate. How you doing, guys? It's the Pound for Pound boxing show in association of Seconds Out Coffee. Today I've got a very special guest, Bradley Rea. How you doing, Bradley?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Just want to first say thank you for taking your time to speak to us today. I know it's fight week. I know it's a busy week for you. How are you feeling and how's camp going?
Yeah, mate, camp's been brilliant. Probably the best camp I've had so far, and I'm absolutely itching to get in there Saturday night. I can't wait.
And it's amazing. You're going to be fighting in front of a crowd in Newcastle. We know what that crowd is like on Boxer live on Sky Sports. It doesn't get better than that, does it?
No, I'm absolutely itching to get in there, mate. Obviously the Newcastle crowds are always bouncing as it is. I've done well on tickets. I've got about 100, 170, 180 manx coming up, and it's going to be a night to remember. I'm really excited.
And how's it feel to be on the same undercard of the likes of Chris Eubank Jr., Savannah Marshall, Hughie Fury, all those names? What's it like to be under that same card as them?
Yeah, it's a huge card, and obviously you've got Ritson, who big ticket seller, big crowd pleaser. Eubank's just been added, and it's gonna be a great night of boxing, and I'm happy to be involved in it.
Yeah, we can't wait for that night. It's good. You know what? These boxer events, first one just looked great, and this one just looks even better. And can't wait for that. Let's talk about your last fight on the Akoli Golovkin undercard. Lee Cutler, an undefeated at the time, Lee Cutler as well. Literally blew him away in the first round. Obviously, every boxer believes in themselves, in their ability, in their power. But did you think it was going to be that easy for you?
No, it wasn't something that I was going out to do. It wasn't part of a plan. It kind of just happened. But I knew I had it in my locker. I knew I was capable of it. It's something that me and my coach had spoke about on the morning of the fight. Just said that if you feel like you've got him going early on, don't let him off the hook. And in that split moment where I thought that hurt him, I thought back to them thoughts, and I thought, no, right, you're getting it now, and put my foot on the gas, stepped in.
Do you enjoy being in? Well, at the time before the fight, it was known as a 50-50 fight. He was defeated as well. He was 10-0. At the time, he was 9-0. Do you enjoy being in these 50-50 fights?
Yeah, I feel like I'm past that point of boxing journeyman now, and I want to get in these good, entertaining 50-50 domestic clashes. And I think I've shown that again here with Jez Smith. A lot of people boxer debut, my Sky Sports debut, taking on an opponent such as Jez in 2 weeks' notice. They would have maybe been a bit unsure, but I jumped at it because it's a great fight, and it's the type of fights that I want to be involved in.
Yeah, it's a brilliant fight. Another 50-50. Jez Smith, a very experienced fighter, 13-3. I would say he was really unlucky in Spain against Lejara. I think the referee gave extra time for Lajara for the count as well. He was really unlucky there. But one thing about Jez Smith is in the past, against heavy hitters, he's fallen short. Samuel Antwi, Aguiarco as well. But what strengths and dangers does he bring to the ring?
You know, like you said, I think out in Barcelona, he's shown what level he can fight at and how good he is. And, you know, he really comes to win. His game and he's strong. And, you know, if I'm not on my day next week, I know that he'll beat me. You know, and it's a tough fight. It's going to be an entertaining fight. But, you know, I just think I've got the style where, you know, I can beat him multiple different ways, whichever I choose to. I think whichever way I choose to box him, I think I'll better him. But you know, I'm excited to be involved in such a good fight, and you know, I think especially on social media, you know, people are buzzing about the fight, saying it's the best fight on the show. And yeah, you know, I'm just happy to be involved in a fight like this, and you know, I want to kind of carry on the momentum that I'm building.
When this fight got announced, I'll be honest, I was buzzing. I said to my colleague Jermaine, this fight can be the fight of the night, 100%. But my question to you is not to disrespect Jez Smith in any way. Obviously, if I had asked you this against Lee Cutler before, don't know what your answer would have been. But after that performance against Lee Cutler, a more tougher opponent this time. But is the fight going to go the distance, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think I'm going to get him out of there. It's you know, we've got a game plan set. We're ready to go the distance if we have to. But yeah, you know, I think I'm going to get him out of there definitely. And I think the more he comes looking for me, the more chances I'm going to put him away.
By beating Jez Smith, you're 13th right now in the UK. It gives you that chance to maybe go in the top 10. The moment that the British Board of Control have announced that River Wilson Bent will fight Tyler Denney for the English title, are you keeping an eye on that fight?
100%. That next year, that's my goal. That English title. Two very good kids. It's going to be an interesting fight, but you know, I want to get a couple more rounds under the belt to finish this year off. Maybe get a 10 rounder next year, and then you know, I want to be throwing my name in that hat for that English title.
If you was a betting man, who wins, River Wilson Bent or Tyler Denney?
I'd say Bent, but Denney is very tricky, and you know, he's a hard night work for anyone. And I think on his day he could beat Ben, but I think I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I think I'll put my money on Ben.
Brilliant. No, that'll be unbelievable. That's going to be unbelievable fight, and I think you fighting winner of that, it will be even better fight, regardless if it's Wilson Bent or Tyler Denney. I think that this division right now, alongside the light heavyweight, the welterweight, domestically, is one of the best divisions out there as well. So only time will tell what who your opponent will be for that belt.
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's so many good fights to be made at middleweight as well. There's so many different good different opponents and different clashes of styles, and you know, I think I've proven obviously with the Cutler fight, and again now with Smith, that you know, I'm not scared about throwing myself into fights like these, into these 50-50 fights, into these risky fights where, you know, could possibly lose. You know, this is what it's about at the end of the day, and I'm happy to do that. And, you know, I think these type of fights that I've been taking, when I get to them title fights, it'll leave me in good stead then, and I'll be well prepared. But no, I'm excited about getting in that mix, definitely.
Obviously, not looking past Jez Smith, another name I would like to bring up to you, because you say you don't mind being in the 50-50 fights. He's got a similar record to yours. He sells massive tickets, Nathan Heaney. What's your thoughts of one day sharing the ring with Nathan Heaney, with all his fans there and your fans there as well?
Yeah, you know, I'd box Heaney tomorrow if he'd offered the chance. It's a fight I'd love to be involved in. Again, you know, I've said before that me kind of, when I first started getting into boxing, and you know, when I've been going to shows, watching Ricky Hatton and watching Anthony Crawler and, you know, these type of fights where there's big followings and the atmosphere and the crowd, there's a real buzz in the arena. And I think out of all the domestic opponents, Heaney's the one who can offer me that. And if I could box anyone in that division, it'd be Heaney. You know, I've said, you know, I'll happily go to Stoke. I'll happily go to Stoke, you know. We'll bring a couple of 100 Manx to Stoke, and, you know, it'd be a great night. It'd be a great fight, clash of styles. But, you know, I'm confident I'd get the win and the winning style.
You answered my question, because I was going to ask, would you travel to Stoke? Because I spoke to River Wilson Ben when there was that rumor that he was meant to fight Nathan Heaney for that English title, and Heaney pulled out of the purse. But before that, he said, I'm willing to go to Stoke. So I'm glad that you said that. And if that fight ever happened, it would be an unbelievable fight.
Yeah, definitely. You know, fingers crossed that potentially the fight can happen. I'm not holding my breath, to be honest. I don't know if they're as eager for it as we would be, but, you know, you never know with time. Hopefully something can come off, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
Fingers crossed. Just want to ask you, obviously in your division, there's some couple big fights happening. I just want your opinion on them, because potentially any of these guys could be a future opponent for you as well, and you could be in that mix eventually. First one, Felix Cash, the British champion. He's in line to face Linus Adofio, the former English champion. They say styles make fights. I think this is an amazing fight. Who wins and why?
I really rate Adofio. I think he's a great fighter and he looked really good last week. I just think Felix Cash is a level above at the moment. You know, he's looked absolutely class recently, especially with the Denzel Bentley win. I'd have to favour Cash. You know, I think he's kind of at that level now where he's pushing on and he can look at European or even, you know, getting in position for world honours. And, you know, I really do think he's that good.
Another fighter, I believe he's really underrated. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. I still think he's too big for the middleweight division. I think he needs to go to super middleweight. Is Demetrius Andrade. He's facing Jason Quigley. He's defending his WBO world title next month. Big opportunity for Quigley. Who's going to win that and why?
I like Quigley. I do like Quigley, but I think Andrade is, you know, he's been at that world level for a long time now. Very tricky opponent as well. Very awkward style and hard to look good against. I think I'll probably back Andrade on a bit of a, not boring, but yeah, a points decision. Not too exciting.
If he wins that, can you see him unifying against Charlo?
It depends, doesn't it, on with your different channels and stuff over in America. You know how political it is over here. You know, it's even worse in America. But you know, it'd be a great fight. I'm a fan of Charlo, definitely, and I think a lot of them have kind of they always have one eye on Canelo, don't they? That's the big money fight they want, and, you know, I think a lot of the times these fights don't happen as they're kind of waiting around to see what Canelo's next move is going to be.
Yeah,
you know, the whole middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight divisions come to a standstill when Canelo's picking his next opponent, because you know, people think they might be next in line, and it in a way does hold up the other divisions. But, you know, middleweight, that's a fight to be made, definitely.
You ever DM'd Eddie Hearn and say, Canelo's looking for anyone? I'm ready.
There's only one other ginger on this planet, mate. They can beat Canelo, and it's me. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the big payday.
You never know. One day that could be a future opponent of yours. Don't you know? You can never rule it out.
I'll catch him on the way down when he's about 50.
Another fight that's happening in your division that's received a lot of criticism, and I'm a little bit disappointed because I don't think he should have been waiting this long to fight. He's going to fight on New Year's Eve against Murata. Is Golovkin. Unification, IBF and WBA title. What's your thoughts on this, that they've already done it so far ahead and they're not fighting beforehand. And what do you think of this fight?
Yeah, Golovkin's Golovkin, and he'll always be an entertaining fight. So he'll always put on a show. He's getting no younger. He's getting no younger, and I think the longer he's waiting, it's not good for him. Murata's no easy fight either. He brings it. He's a tough man. But there's only so tough you can be when you're getting hit off a fighter like Golovkin, who carries that kind of power. I think he'd last for a little bit, Murata, but I think eventually Golovkin will put him away, maybe drop him a few times, and he'll keep bouncing back up. But I think eventually Golovkin will get to him. But I think he's running out of time for another huge fight, another big fight. He's quickly running out of time, and if he wants to get in one of them big fights, he wouldn't be messing about. But we'll see.
Do you think he's holding on too much to that Canelo trilogy?
Potentially, yeah. Like I said again, Canelo's the big money fight, and
yeah,
the divisions come to a standstill when they're in hope of potentially getting that fight. Maybe.
Do you think, because with Golovkin, I think, do you believe that it's not about money with Golovkin? Do you believe a lot of people is split 50-50. I truly believe that Golovkin won the first fight, in my opinion. Obviously, Canelo dominated the second, but do you think it's more of I kind of robbed the first fight, I need to make it right. I got one loss, I need to make it right? Or is it about the money?
Yeah, definitely. I do think, Golovkin's kind of character and, the way he carries himself, it's not about the money. But then again, who's going to say no to however many million you're going to get for fighting Canelo? But again, I think if they were to fight now, I think Canelo would really have his number. Like I said, he's getting no younger, Golovkin, and I think Canelo. I myself thought Canelo won the last fight as well. But yeah, everyone will tune in and it'll still be an entertaining fight.
Do you think, obviously, winning this Saturday, Chris Eubank could be eyeing up the winner of this fight? Can you see that happening?
Yeah, potentially, definitely. He's been calling out Golovkin for years now, and hasn't he, Eubank? And then, even the Murata fight, it'd be great to see. I've seen a few people say about Liam Williams against Murata as well, which I think would be an absolute war. That'd be a great fight. But if you think Eubank, Golovkin, is kind of after that world title or that big defining fight, although it'd be big over here, it's not really. Eubank isn't that defining fight for him. And although it's a big step up for Eubank, if Golovkin's after them big fights, he's best off looking elsewhere realistically.
How big would Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams be?
Yeah, that'd be a great fight. I think it'd be a great build-up, great clash of styles. I think Liam Williams against anyone is a great fight. He's one of my favourites to watch. Always brings it. And yeah, there's a few great fights to be made there. Like I said, the Murata fight with Liam Williams would be great. But yeah, it's exciting. There's so many good fights to be made in boxing at the moment, and it's boxing's back on the map. It's booming at the moment. Every weekend there's big shows. This past weekend, it's been an absolutely class weekend. Just everywhere you look, there was just great fights, and it's exciting times for the sport.
100%. And now that the new promotion Pro Bellum has come in, they announced today that they signed Denney, Sam Jones, Jim White. So that's another promotion that's going to come in. Depending on what channel they will require in the UK as well. It's just going to be booming, and hopefully we get a couple shows. I hope they start doing more shows on a Friday. They're doing some shows on a Sunday. Just have an all weekend box
every day of the week.
That's
Monday,
it.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have them all.
I would actually absolutely love it. Boxing right now is for me. Obviously, football will always be number one in the world, but for me, like boxing right now is just booming.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great time to be involved in the sport and to be following the sport.
Over the weekend, by far one of the best heavyweight fights I've ever seen. Tyson Fury dominating Deontay Wilder. What's your thoughts on this fight? And was it one of the best heavyweight fights you've ever seen?
Yeah, so I actually didn't get up for it. I watched it in the morning, which I was a bit like that about, but we're getting close to fight night now, so I've got to be on it. I've got to get me sleeping, I've got to get me rest. But watched it in the morning, great fight, and I'm glad it ended the way it did. There was no excuses, no ifs or buts. Fury won the fight, and I'm glad that's kind of put to bed now. I don't really think we needed the third fight after the second fight, and I'm glad that's put to bed. But there's just so many fights there in that heavyweight division again. So many good fights that can be made. Fury's the man and obviously Usyk carries the other three titles, but that's the fight that's got to happen. Surely, it's the fight that's got to happen, and I can't see Usyk doing what he did to Joshua, to Tyson. I just think he's too big and knows how to use his size a little bit better. But that's the fight that's got to happen. Obviously, it looks like Usyk's tied up with Joshua for a while. So whatever Tyson decides to do will be interesting. But you've got White there, you've got the other fighters, and again, heavyweight division is booming. And it's exciting. For a couple of years, it was a bit stale and it was a bit dull and a bit boring to watch. But it's exciting at the moment. The titles are changing hands every other week, and there's new kids coming up, and it's not just one man ruling it like it was with Klitschko. The heavyweight division kind of back on top with boxing.
100%. And I think no matter what people's opinions are of what the outcome of Tyson Fury versus Dillian White is, the build up to that fight will just be unbelievable because both can give it. I'm worried about Fury getting into Dillian's face because Dillian, we've seen what happened with Chisora as well. That'll be a massive fight. A question for you, Bradley, is today I've been listening to the radio, been watching Sky Sports, etc. Everyone has said the same thing you just said, that Usyk can't do what he did to Joshua to Tyson Fury. Now, my question to you is, we knew already from Saturday that the activation of the rematch has been done, and it will be AJ versus Usyk too. For you to say that, does that mean, do you believe that Alexander Usyk will beat Anthony Joshua again?
Yeah, I think he's got his number. I really think he's got his number, and I think it'll be more convincing this time. I could even see him stopping him. Then again, this is the heavyweight division we're talking about. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. One punch off Joshua and it's game over. But yeah, I think Usyk got his number, and I think he does it more convincing the next time.
If you had to give advice to Anthony Joshua, let's say that was you, how would you approach the fight? How would you have to beat Alexander Usyk?
For me, I think no one's going to outbox Usyk. No one's going to outbox Usyk. Technically, he's one of the best on the planet. I think with Joshua, he's got to do what he's done to get him where he is now. He's got to be a big, strong heavyweight, and he's got to use that against Usyk. Obviously, not be careless, but he's got to try and walk through him, and he's got to put it on him. There was times in the fight where he couldn't do that because he was hesitant to throw. Because every time he threw, he just got countered by Usyk. But yeah, I'd just try and walk through him. But then again, it's whether Joshua has that in his gas and whether he's gonna tire early on if he does that. But this is why boxing's so exciting, and the fight can go so many different ways.
100%. And then you got the likes of like Joe Joyce eventually coming into that mix. Eventually, they say the winner of Chisora Park will be number 2 in the in the governing body as well. And you've got other young prospects coming up, Fabio, Wally. You know, you've got all these prospects coming up eventually, and the heavyweight division is just going to get better, especially domestically. Domestically is one of the best out there. You know, eventually you got the Savage getting into into it eventually, Babbage. But yeah, it's just going to be booming, and I can't wait for these fights to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think domestically one of the best fights that can happen, and you know, if it does, I'll be sat right on the fence. My mouth will be shut, and I'll just be sitting back enjoying it. But it's Nathan, Gorman, and Fabio. You know, I'm good mates with both of them, very good mates with both of them, and you know, I've seen them spar over the years, and it was a great spar. I think Nathan would have to be in his game compared to his recent outings, but if he is, you know, that's a very, very tough fight to call.
No, brilliantly, because you got two fighters who technically good, but one I believe is stronger in Fabio Wardley, but the other one is just technically better, in my opinion, which is Nathan Gorman. It's just going to be I can't be a winner. I really can't, because if you got an on-form Nathan Gorman, he's one of the most underrated heavyweights in the country. You know, people look at the performance against Daniel Dubois. He's going through personal issues then, but on form, we know what he can do. But Fabio is a beast. Fabio is an absolute beast. So
they both are.
That's a fight.
You know, I did both. Two of my very good mates. But it'll be a tough one to watch. But you know, I'd be a fan as well, and it'd be on the edge of my seat, no doubt.
And hopefully for a British title, that would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of the way it's looking like it's going. Touch wood, fingers crossed, and you know, it's one I'm looking forward to.
100%. Bradley, before I let you go, do you have a message for your fans, the ones that are gonna be traveling to Newcastle to watch you and tuning in this Saturday?
Yeah, you know, just a massive thank you to everyone who's bought tickets. I was a bit iffy when the fight got announced that it was in Newcastle. You know, I've not boxed outside of Manchester as a pro. But, you know, it's been absolutely unreal. The support, people booking hotels and coaches going down. And, you know, it's going to be a great weekend. I've done close to 200 tickets. So it's gonna sound like we've got a little piece of Manchester in Newcastle on Saturday night. And, you know, everyone who can't make it, tune in Saturday night, and hopefully it's going to be a great fight, and I'm going to show people what I'm about again, and you know, put my name on the map, and hopefully a few more fans who currently don't follow me, you know, a few more people will be sitting up and taking note.
Can't wait. And if you win that, can't wait for you to face of River Wilson Bent and Tyler Denney for the English title. That'll be an amazing opportunity and a great treat for us boxing fans as well. So I want to wish you the best of luck Saturday. And thank you again for taking your time to speak to us today. And I hope we could catch up soon.
Anytime, mate. Thanks so much. Cheers for having me.
Thank you. Take care, mate. Stay
Bye,
safe.
Mate.